Okay, so, dear ladies, no gentlemen, sorry, only just one. Well, what's about lecture? Today I wanted to tell you a few words about something why do you need English in this organization, for example. Well, how do you think about it? First of all, I would like to ask you, do you remember about Charles Darwin and his biography and his so famous achievements? And what is the difference between Charles Darwin and scientists in modern Ukraine or Russia? What is the difference and what is commodity, the similarity, for example? How do you think? Lena?
Well, actually, yeah, I remember some details from his biography, but maybe not all details. And the difference is maybe a very long story.
Short story, make long story short, as English people say.
We live in different centuries.
Be more close.
We have different approaches, I think, in our research. And similarity is that possibly we are all scientists.
But in common sense of life, for ordinary people, how will you say what is the difference for him and for you? Do you remember?
Darwin is the great scientist.
Okay. Don't diminish your future and present achievements. But do you remember that he lived in capitalist society, by the way? So we have capitalist society as well now. So we already passed communist regime, we lost everything, maybe. So now he was in a capitalist society and we are also in a capitalist society. But do you remember that he was rich and our scientists, they are not so rich as they could be? For instance, that's one might remark that probably in this century, in 21st century, especially in this part of the world, the science would belong to rich people, by the way, or to people who can find this money. So, how to find money in this post-Soviet society? It's a question, actually. For instance, just last week, I supplied my project for our mutual possible project between Ukraine and our neighboring country. So we hope to receive some amount of money.
Belarus?
Another one, biggest country in the world.
Uh-huh.
So, but the opportunity to receive this money, who knows? Who knew and who probably nobody will not know about. But the major question for scientists in Ukraine and in Russia now, how to get money, by the way, because they are not so rich as Charles Darwin was. You do remember that he was owner of a big factory. He worked only for science, and all his prosperity and his wealth were coming because he had capitalist factory, by the way. No, we probably don't have it, at least in this room, kind of a factory. But everyone, scientists, maybe, not everyone, I'm sure that not everyone, but some scientists in Ukraine and Russia, they would be happy to receive some money. And what is the name of this money? How scientists now call this money?
Grants?
Yes. Or, another word, who knows?
Funding.
Funding. And what else? Who knows? Grant. It's okay. But another word?
Stipendium.
Right. But in English,
Financial support.
This is a Latin name for stipendium. It's like in German, but in English it's called scholarship or fellowship or grant. Well, what is the difference between scholarship, fellowship, and grant? Probably award. Award. This is a prize. You can receive Nobel Award, a great prize for scientists, for example. The difference exists, of course. Because fellowship, this is for, okay, for advanced scientists, scholarship for beginners in science, and grant, this is for everyone, if you are lucky to get it. So how to get scholarship? I guess this is quite interesting question. How do you think?
Maybe it is possible only when you know English. You should write a very good proposal, very good application.
Well, knowledge of English is not the first. The first?
You should have an idea.
Yes. Firstly, you should have an idea to do it.
It's clear.
No, it's not clear. Some people, they don't have this idea at all. They are happy to be here and don't have any grants or any scholarships. Oh, why we should have it? Well,
No,
English, and what else?
Then, firstly idea, then I think I use this approach by myself. You should build all the situation, all future situation, and only if you may imagine all details of your future research, of your future plans, you may start your proposal. Then you should write a very proposal and to send it to somewhere.
And how you can do it? Whom you can send it? Just you can send it for example, to White House, to United States?
No, of course.
Well, who will receive it?
Okay. Then from the beginning, first the idea, then modeling, then finding right place for sending proposals, and then writing proposal.
Yes, a person who will be happy to accept you, a recipient, maybe just a very advanced professor who would be happy to have a young student from abroad, from such countries as Ukraine or Russia, for example, because he has already 10 students from United States, 10 from Europe, maybe 1 or 2 from Russia and Ukraine would be good as well. Why? Because they have a good salary and their salary is dependent from number of students as well. And students, why they're coming? They're coming for their profit, and professor is happy to have them because he is writing articles, publications with all the students. Of course, we have So, just here we can continue just recording about interesting question on
How to get money.
how to get money and how to get maybe kind of a scholarship. Well, so, of course, advanced professor is very good idea, but how you can find this professor?
Maybe on the conference, international conference,
Absolutely.
but maybe another moment. Then if you want to find some specialist, zoologist, or another, and you know in what country you want to go, and looking for at main universities or institutes the specialists.
I guess.
And sometimes it more successful than that you write a letter to collect in nearest room in the institute. So
Yes, well.
that collects answer quickly.
I guess now with modern technology it's very easy to find somebody in this very big and very small world. Just to type your search in Google, in Yandex, your keywords, what do you want? So you will receive at least initial answer about your profession, specialty, maybe professor, maybe university, and maybe country where you would like to go. So after that, what you should start fishing this professor just to give him just a piece of bread, your ideas. So I would like to communicate with you, and so on. And of course, you will not receive answer in 10 days. So you will not be happy. Why? Because professor is also busy. Don't be so stupid waiting, but he will reply you immediately tomorrow. He has 20 students, he has lectures, he has international conferences, lectures, and he's traveling worldwide. He's not sitting in one city like our scientists, in one room, by the way. Sorry. So that's why maybe he will answer you after 10 days, okay, maybe longer.
After a month.
Maybe even after the month. Don't be afraid about it.
Yes.
Because if you continue fishing, this kind of fishing, I'm not talking about illegal fishing. This is normal, scientific, we can say, fishing. So someone will answer you. So, and someone will be interested in your ideas. Maybe not too much, maybe at least 10%, but even 10% of interest is good. Because you say, I will do 90% of my job, and you can do at least 10%, no problem, of course. And after that, what should you ask this professor? Then, what should you ask this professor? Okay, you found he is working in a similar subject, on similar subject, and he's interested.
Should I buy tickets?
No, of course, if you are like a Charles Darwin, no problem. Both 2 ways, okay, 1 year accommodation, food, good hotel, entertainment, no problem. But before that, normal student could ask what?
What is the salary? What is the...
Okay,
yeah.
very good capitalist approach. First of all, you should ask about stipendium. So how to come over there to receive this? Is it possible to apply to your university to receive scholarship, or maybe fellowship, or maybe kind of a grant? And professor will tell you, okay, we have just a scholarship annually. We select 5-10 students, and you should ask, please send me application form. And he will tell you, you can download application form from website of our university, and also guide, which is describing this application. What should you pay attention on this application form? What is most important in application form, for example? How do you think?
I think it's necessary to...
Several criteria, at least
and
3.
maybe my obligations.
3 major criteria in application. They ask you something, maybe. In application, every application will ask you something. This is not a white sheet of paper and you will write just a story like Conan Doyle over there. I would like to come to the United States to study wolves and wild animals over there. Please give me money. That's good enough. Yes, one interesting scientist is coming. Give him money, $20,000. Something else. What do they ask you in application?
I think it depends of the institution, because
Yes,
different institutions propose different forms of
Yes.
applications.
But major?
Major, my experience,
Well,
my research
1,
experience, my
2.
publications.
What else? 2
What
criteria.
else? What else? What else?
Your age, they ask you your age. Yes, definitely.
Okay.
Because some fellowship can be before 25, before 30, some before 50. This is eligibility. It's named eligibility. Are you eligible to apply to this fellowship? Or your citizenship. Don't forget about it. Because you can read it, application and say, oh, I'm happy to apply. But don't forget, small sentence. This fellowship is eligible only for citizens of United States. If you miss it,
Yeah.
so you will do a stupid job.
But all these details should be clarified before.
Of course.
And
You downloaded it and you can read. Professor will not read it. You will read it. So, citizenship, and also sometimes they ask you to write something. What should you write?
What should you write?
Yes, in your application form.
CV, proposals, projects.
CV.
Your project.
This is your biography.
Yes.
Project.
List of
Preliminary
your projects,
project.
list of your publications, experience.
Motivation.
Yeah, it's called sometimes separate page. Motivational letter. Why you are coming over there? It's called special motivational letter. Why you are coming?
Yes,
Not
you
only
should write,
because
I am from Ukraine, I'm very good, give me money. It's like motivation letter.
no, it's not good enough. If
But
you will read
such
it,
word.
yes, you did. But if you will read this letter, would you give money?
But you should write something like this.
Something like this, but
Something.
but you should indicate that you're asking for kind of research, for knowledge, for information. Don't forget, but you should propose something back, by the way, because you have also a little bit knowledge maybe. So you should write, I propose to study your material. I propose to give some lectures for your students. I propose to study something important for you, not only for me.
Maybe it will depend from the form of this university.
Of course.
Always you will propose lectures or some study materials.
We don't
speak about it.
Sometimes, but sometimes they ask you about this motivational letter, and someone can read and understand what is the mutual.
Sometimes they ask you only about what you could do by hand.
And generally,
You
are we
can
talking
tell
about
about
postdoc work or about some independent
Just
research?
anyway, just in general. This is.
Because in
just-
fellowship and studentship,
Just in
they
general.
don't need a cover letter. It's for postdoc.
Okay, there are different.
In fellowship, it's easy enough if you find it.
It depends upon the fellowship. Short-time fellowship, long-time fellowship, postdoc. Criteria and just increasing like this, of course.
CV, your idea, and 2 professors. It's enough papers.
Yes, of course. If you're asking just for fellowship for 1 month visit, for example,
No,
if you're asking for longer, it can be different in different countries.
Yes, in
Some-
different institutes it's also
And what should you write?
scientific plan.
In the end of your letter of your biography, you wrote your biography, very interesting, and something last sentence, who knows? This is your achievements, okay, and finally,
Your signature. At the very end.
What?
Signature.
after your biography, what should you write?
Date.
I am waiting for big discoveries.
Yes, but it's called, in English, it's called a reference. References. Person who can evaluate you. Don't forget that if you're writing that you're a very skillful person, maybe someone don't think about it like you. So, last sentence, you should give at least 2 or 3 people who can evaluate you. They are referees, possible referees. Don't forget about them. Think about them preliminary. 1 or 2 can be here in Ukraine, or maybe 1 or 2 from abroad, whom you met at previous conference and said, can I ask you about a reference letter? Some will drink the wine and say, okay, of course, you're very pretty, by the way. Okay, you can ask me. Of course, and this person can give this reference. He will not give it immediately for you. But if this university asks him, he will remember you at least. Maybe this university will never ask him about reference letter. But you should write that you know this person and you can ask him. Otherwise, your CV is not enough. And after CV, when you write, I was graduated at school, university, you should write your skills. Your skills. This is very important. Several sentences. Not where you have been graduated, but what can you do by the skills. What can you do? You can do preparation, you can do collecting, you can do sleeping, sewing, yes, maybe eating. What can you do as a scientist? Your scientific skills. Even you can write my computer skills in C++, in Excel, in Word, in Photoshop. Also, you should indicate that you are skillful with computer, because maybe or statistics, collecting, everything. These are skills. And last sentence in application form about time. What's about time? Do you remember this very important word? Time.
Time.
Year and time. What should be? What is it? Deadline. Deadline. This is line after this line you are not going to be dead. Don't worry about it. This is time before you should apply this application. So that's why you are typing before deadline and send it to your professor by email. And he is typing it as well maybe and going just to the next floor and give this application. That's enough. Sometimes it's very easy. So if you think that this process is enormously difficult and your neighbor in your room will tell you, you are not so creative. It's very difficult. Your English is very poor to write this application. And you are just frustrating. You say, no, it's impossible to write it. I'm very unskillful in English. No, it's impossible to write it. And of course you do not apply. But if you think, I learned English in school, in university, I can read, I can type by 2 fingers, at least. So you can type by 4 fingers your application form and send it by email. Very easy, even you don't pay money. Very easy. So maybe first version come back to you because professor will check it. Because give you back to say, oh, you can change something. Okay, you can change it. Second version, he said, oh, little some mistakes, change it. And I said, okay, very good, very good. That's enough. And after that, what should you start again? Maybe. What? Then how do you think?
Packing bags.
No. How Marina thinks.
Waiting for approval.
Approval and
packing bags.
and fishing again. I think fishing again for another professor. Why not? Why not? If you will sit down and will be waiting for 1 year for reply from this university, year is passing on, nobody is not replying to you, and you're thinking, these Americans so stupid, they didn't accept my proposal. I am genius, My proposal is so sweet, it's really candy. It's really candy for anyone in the world. It's much better even just Charles Darwin book. So you say, but don't be so just a great person, so genius. Be in the shoes of other people. So because other people will evaluate you and maybe they will read it and will find only 5 publications not in English but in Russian. They will read it and will think, oh, very interesting university journal, see university. Proceedings and abstracts. Oh, probably this is in India. Oh, this is very small university, Khersonsky Proceeding Unit. Or this is maybe in Punjab. Or this is somewhere in Pakistan. No. It's a very small university. I don't know. Okay, reject it. But if you will write the participation in Stockholm Conference of Young Scientists Small proceeding. Well, next one. Participation in conference in London. One small proceeding. And one small publication in English somewhere in Ukraine. And one small publication in Russia. In English again in Russia. We were okay, London, okay, Ukraine, yes, of course, Kiev, right? And this is American university. Okay, it's interesting. This person knows English at least. He will not learn English, he will study his subject. Okay, we accept it. So that's why you should be happy at least if you had an idea to publish your papers in which language? Not only in your native red language, but also in this strange English language. And after that, maybe just idea to wait for feedback from this person. He will tell you, hello, you should come next month. You say, oh, it's terrible, I should have received visa. Visa. And also what I think, one interesting question for me. If you have opportunity to come to somewhere because you got a fellowship, would you come just alone or maybe not alone? Would?
With all
Do you
my
know?
family.
Yes. Here in this part of the world, everyone was educated that only you can come somewhere to participate in conference or just to need to be very, very economy in money.
No,
You have
no,
to
it's not.
spend money and you can okay, so you get something in your bag because you're coming back. You need money to survive in this country. But from my point of view, if you got fellowship, for instance, somewhere, and you have opportunity to come there, not one, but two, I guess one head is good, but two heads twice better. But it's up to you.
It
and
depends
up-
of many circumstances.
Yes, of course. But if you think about circumstances, these circumstances come into you. If you reject them, you will not come just only alone and so on and so forth. Because you will explain to your partner, we should have money. It's not permitted to come together. And it will be very expensive. What should you do there? I will go to work, and what should you do? Sit at home? No, we spend money. Oh yes, it's very difficult. So please, you are going, of course, alone. Don't worry. You will, we will survive here, and we will be waiting for your money. So that's my proposal, my opinion, for example. Always it's going to be different. Tell some questions, for instance.
Some questions. Okay.
Oh,
Yes.
please.
Yes, I have a question, a little question. Do you work in such manner? In such, did you receive such funding
Well,
already? And do you receive
fortunately,
funding?
Fortunately, I'm not talking about it really when I read about it in newspaper. Yes, I have got some fellowships and scholarships to visit some other countries and some conferences, by the way. So that's why, fortunately, I would say that I visited 11 countries, by the way. At least, and only one I visited as a tourist. Only one. Others only with scientific purpose, like this. So that's why you should apply, you should search for some. If you are thinking that someone in Russia and Ukraine, okay, intelligent person received candidate of sciences or doctor of sciences, you're thinking, I'm genius and these bloody Americans, they should ask me and they should invite me. You would be waiting till your pension. If you relax and think that maybe your knowledge can be useful somewhere, okay, you can come, or you can share your knowledge with another people. Don't be so selfish. You say, I'm expert, so please come to this table and I will teach you because I'm expert. Some scientists will do like this because they're self-sufficient and they don't need all this traveling. I don't know. This is their problem. So, but if you're interested about something, you can ask another people and you can step over there. Next question.
What you should do if you have 2 positive feedbacks?
Okay.
You should
Okay, I know about this. That's a possible question. For instance, once I visited conference, and this conference was in one country in Europe. So I came to Switzerland, they invited me, they paid both ways and visit conference and fee. But with me, one another person from another country was also invited, but he received another invitation to United States. So he should select. He went to United States and said to these people in Switzerland, sorry, I cannot come. So they said, okay, sorry, but you said it in last 20 days, because we should give this money to another person. If you are thinking, oh, I don't know what to say till the last day, you will destroy your relationship with these people. So tell them earlier, at least if you want one scholarship, tell another people, I have one. Sorry, I am not coming to this. Something like this. So I am not coming to your conference. Because these people, they will be happy to give this money for conference to another person, of course. For them, this is okay. They will not receive this money for themselves. No, they'll give it to another student, for example. That's very simple. Please.
Questions?
Questions?
Okay. I have a question about an effectiveness of this technique.
Great.
As far as I understand, we should have to write hundreds and thousands of letters, submissions, applications, and after hundreds and thousands, one or two would be
Successful.
positive.
Absolutely wonderful question. As Americans say, awesome question. Lovely question. Why? Because some people think that you should write 100 proposals. But this is not true. This is not true. No one doesn't write 100 proposals. Because you are not a computer. So you have at least 3, 5, 10 projects in your mind. You have time for realization at least 3, 5 years forward. So if you can send 10 proposals, you can receive 2 or 3 positive answers. That's good enough for you. You don't need to send 100 proposals and receive 20 answers and you will select. What should I do? What should I do? You will not have time to type 100 proposals.
But what about 100 proposals and 0 positive answers?
But this is also correct approach. From my experience, I will not tell about skies. My experience, as I remember that between 1991, independent Ukrainian period, till 1995, I was sending every year 200 letters to my colleagues. Every year. 200 letters from post office. Just writing, typing, put into envelope and send it to... So I received positive feedback only after 5 years of writing, when I came to conference and found my colleague, someone face to face, and asked him, I would like to visit your laboratory, he said. I will send you paper. And after 2 years, I've been over there. So sometimes, if you like the idea, you can write 5 years in your some questions to people. Not proposals, at least questioning people. Now with email, it's much easier. You can send 200 emails 1 month. In 1991, we had no email. We had email only one person in this institute, Oleg Dudkin. He was most famous one, with one computer and one access to internet. Now everyone has computer, and so far you can send 200 emails every month if you like the idea to improve your contacts. So I think there is opportunity that among 200 emails in 1 month, one person will tell you something positive. Sometimes people do not reply to your emails because, for instance, in my computer I have 12,000 emails I didn't read. So other people also do not read many emails because they are from unknown people or we are just busy. So if you didn't get answer, type to another person or type again to this person if you are interested in this laboratory, in this subject. So once upon the time in the detail, okay, something happens positive. Well, this is my inspirational idea.
Nice.
For
nice.
everyone.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.